Welcome back to Amazing Archaeology at Worthing Museum and Art Gallery. My name's James Sainsbury, I'm the archaeological curator here, and today we're going to look at a really special item, which is this. This is the Highdown Goblet. This is a unique piece of glassware found at Highdown Hill back in 1893 by Edwin Henty, who was the landowner, and Charles Hercules Reed, who was an assistant curator at the British Museum. This item is unique to this country. The likelihood is that the majority of the piece, so at least up from here, this was actually made in Alexandria in Egypt around 400 AD. Now, what makes this special is the etching in particular. So these etchings, these have been almost scratched into the glass and then possibly filled with chalk. Around the top we've got a Greek saying, "Use me in good health to you," so it may have been filled with wine or maybe some kind of cosmetic. And around the side here, we've got quite a common theme on Roman glassware. We've got a hunting scene. So you can actually see two hares being chased by a hound. Now this was discovered, as I said, in the 1890s, 1893, and it was discovered in grave 49. And this is at Highdown Hill, just 2 miles west of Worthing. We think this special piece of glassware survived because it was buried in a grave, and the top of Highdown Hill has probably never been ploughed, not in the 1600 years since there was an Anglo-Saxon cemetery on the summit. So if this was example was buried on the top of the Downs or on the coastal plain here near Worthing, at some point a plough would have clipped it and it would have broken into many pieces. Because this was in a grave, it remained remarkably intact, and this actually caused quite a stir at the time. It was talked about by Charles Hercules Reed in his reports, and we've had it on display in here at Worthing Museum for many decades now. It is probably the most important piece of archaeology that we have in our collections. This item must have travelled across the Mediterranean or possibly across the European land trade routes all the way to end up on the Sussex coast in a cemetery that was probably made up of mercenaries. So these people were known as foederati. They would have been given a section of land by the Roman authorities, or what was left of the Roman authorities in this area, around 400, 420 AD. And they would have been given this land in exchange for protecting the local population. And when he was buried, he was possibly buried with his favourite drinking cup, which is this beautiful Highdown Goblet. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the videos, then please subscribe. And if you have any comments, just leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you again.